see you all.
Welcome, welcome.
It's always a pleasure.
I've been to the barbers here.
Excellent.
Very good. I can see they're good.
Yeah.
Nice soft flow. What's that all about?
That's what the back
It's just the
There is something very, very wrong with this video of Donald Trump sitting in a barbershop, and I want to see if you can notice exactly what it is. But first, let's lay the groundwork and explain how we got to where we are. Donald Trump has spent the entire campaign cycle, his entire time in American politics, grifting. Just to rattle off some examples, he's sold Trump watches, Trump shoes, Trump coins, Trump Bibles, Trump crypto, Trump NFTs, a Trump stock just this election cycle. And on top of all of that, he's been doing performative stunts like this, where he uses settings as a photo shoot while completely disrespecting the people around him. We saw this in Arlington National Cemetery when one of his staffers assaulted a worker so they could take videos. We've seen this time and time again, and I just want to lay down what's at stake this election cycle. The Boston Globe just came out with a bombshell article that reads, "Trump's decline is too dangerous to ignore." This article is going viral all over Twitter because it says, "We can see the decline in the former president's ability to hold a train of thought, speak coherently, or demonstrate a command of the English language, to say nothing of policy. So why are Republicans and the press holding Trump to a different standard than Biden?" That is very well said. He can't hold a train of thought, he can't speak coherently, or demonstrate a command of the English language, and that's to say nothing about his policy. I love that. Let's read a little bit of this, let's break down some clips of Trump, and let's boost our pro-democracy candidates Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, sit back, relax, and this reads, "Donald Trump's answer to a question about childcare costs last month was eye-opening. Not because of what it said about his agenda, if he were to return to the Oval Office, but what it said about his ability to do the job, or I'd say lack thereof. Asked at an economic forum in New York what specific legislation he would back to make childcare more affordable, Trump rambled incomprehensibly for nearly 2 minutes. Well, I would do that. We're sitting down," Trump said. "You know, I was somebody, we had Senator Mark Rubio, my daughter Ivanka, was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue, but I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah." The rest of his answer provided no clarification, but what was crystal clear was a decline in the former president's ability to hold a train of thought, speak coherently, or demonstrate a command of the English language, to say nothing of policy. President Biden, after struggling with his answers during a June debate with Trump, ended his bid for a second term in July, and let's just face it, Biden was struggling on stage that night. That decision came after Democrats publicly voiced concern about Biden's cognitive fitness, and the press pursued the controversy breathlessly for weeks. Yet neither the media nor Republicans have shown that kind of urgency, as Trump has repeatedly shown himself to be, to kindly put it, unwell. It's not only unfair and irresponsible, it is dangerous for the future of our country. And here's the fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats have a broad coalition of a bunch of different groups we have to appeal to, including the far left people who disagree with VP Harris on foreign policy, the center left people who maybe disagree with her on economic stuff, the moderate people who think she needs to be better on immigration, the center right people who wish that she was a little bit more centrist. I mean, we have this broad coalition of all of these different races, all of these different religions. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has his one core MAGA fan base, and the point I'm getting to here is that when Donald Trump has a loyalist fan base, he can endlessly ramble on and do wild stuff. Meanwhile, VP Harris has to act like an actual candidate. So that's where part of the double standards come from. Democrats actually have to appeal to 5 different demographics across the board. Trump appeals to MAGA white people and evangelicals, and the crossover between that group is massive. I want to show you the Trump versus Harris town hall reaction. So Univision did something pretty unique here. They held the town hall with the same undecided voters, people who don't know who they're going to vote for this upcoming election, and they had the same voters ask Kamala questions and Trump questions to see how they react to the same question.
Peacefully and patriotically. Nothing done wrong at all, nothing done wrong. But that was a day of love.
I started my career as a prosecutor. And when I worked doing that job of my goal of keeping people safe, I never asked a witness or a victim of crime, are you a Republican, are you a Democrat? The only question I ever asked is, are you okay?
Ashley Babbitt was killed. Nobody was killed. There were no guns down there.
I mean, sharp difference between these two candidates, and the body language says it all. That's probably the reason Trump has canceled so many events this past week. Just to recap, over the past month or so, Trump has canceled a 60 Minutes interview. He just canceled a CNBC interview. He canceled a second debate with Kamala. He then canceled an NBC interview. He refuses to confirm his CNN town hall. And just today we learned that he canceled an NRA rally. This reads Trump rally in Savannah canceled. It was an NRA rally for the Defend the Second Amendment event. He's weak and weird, says Keith Edwards, not able to run for 2 weeks. Definitely won't make it for 4 years. That brings us back to this article. The next president must be sharp and nimble in confronting these perils, including the ones in the Middle East, persistent inflation, the ongoing domestic threat of homegrown radicalized terrorism from white supremacists, a surge in racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, hate crimes, Ukraine, Russia, China, Iran, and again, the next president must be sharp. Trump's decision to halt an Oaks, Pennsylvania town hall last week, dancing awkwardly to the tunes of the Village People and Barbara Streisand, was anything but sharp. Anything but sharp. And the thing is, Trump and his campaign seem to be aware of his addled presence, says this article. He's canceled several interviews in recent days, and at a rally last month in Johnstown, PA, Trump tried to pass off his meandering verbal style as the intentional strategy called the weave. He's tried to do that a lot, and the main highlight is here, Trump is canceling mainstream interview after mainstream interview. This reads, Trump cancels second mainstream interview in days. Now this brings us on to our pro-democracy candidate, Tim Walz. He got a little bit rowdy during a rally and cussed, then apologized to the children in the room. Watch.
I'm gonna be generous. We are all products of our past. When you grow up a middle-class kid in Oakland or in Butte, Nebraska, you care about Social Security. You care about these things. When you're sitting down in Mar-a-Lago and you tell your rich friends, you're rich as hell, I'm gonna give you a tax cut, it doesn't matter to them. And you know what? When my mom looks for that Social Security deposit to be made in her bank account, that's how she's going to feed herself. That's how she's going to get things done. He doesn't give a damn if his Social Security check comes or not. So let's be very clear. If any of our relatives or anyone gives us this, if they tell us, well, Donald Trump's understand us, that's bullshit. He does not understand. He does not understand. Look, you know it. All right, for the little ones here, I'm a teacher. I'm sorry about that. I carried away.
No, I mean, he said that perfectly. I do wish he would watch his mouth because my mom does watch these videos. I'm just kidding. He can cuss if he wants. But either way, watch this clip of VP Harris shutting down MAGA hecklers at a rally.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. You meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
I love the reaction of the people in the background. This dude was laughing his ass off. But this brings us on to Donald Trump doing an opportunistic photo shoot in a barber shop where it's clearly a stunt. I'm going to play this video one time through, and let me know if you guys can notice what exactly is performative about this video. Let me just play it for you very quickly, and leave in the comments what you think.
5-year-old son that's in the public school right now. I have a lot of people asking me questions as far as the failing school systems that we have here in Bronx. What are we going to do? What are we going to do to improve that in our school systems?
Well, we're moving them back from Washington. You have people that don't care about New York, frankly. You know, in Washington, I don't know if you ever noticed that. You got Department of Education, Department of Education. You got half the buildings in Department of Education.
This dude set up an entire fake production just to hold a stunt. If you didn't notice, the guy that was giving the haircut was faking it for 30 seconds. I'm going to mute it for a second and play it just so you guys can see it. This person is standing there giving a fake haircut for over 30 seconds. Meanwhile, Trump is yapping in the background. And do you guys remember a few months back when Trump did something similar in a very opportunistic fashion? This reads, Trump paid for a black barbershop campaign stunt, then attacked the owner. Trump is now attacking the, quote, betrayed black business owner. The Trump campaign attacked a small black business owner after the owner told the media that the campaign represented to him a roundtable event and then turned that into an event for Trump. Rocky Jones, the owner of Atlanta-based Rocky's Barbershop, barbershop said he was approached about the event by a friend, but he wasn't told it was a political event or ever contacted by anyone from Trump's camp. Jones said the event was set up by the friend, and he now feels betrayed. This is a different interaction from a few months ago, but watch this quick clip.
The owner of Rocky's Barbershop in Atlanta says he feels he was misled by a campaign event for former President Trump the day before the debate. Rocky Jones tells our Karis Belger he thought his Buckhead shop was just hosting a forum for black businesses, but he says he never expected to fade into the realm of politics.
To me, cutting hair is like an art.
And smooth waves are not the only thing Rocky Jones wants his shop to be known for.
We try to specialize in just giving good service to the community. As you can see, I've been here since 17 years, and it's been good.
Which is why he jumped at the chance to help other black business owners get ahead.
And then Donald Trump betrayed him. I really quickly want to point out, this is a real haircut going on in the back. Look at this kid right here getting a haircut. That's real, and that's different from the performative mess of this Donald Trump barbershop stunt. This reads, Trump did a Fox News interview at a Bronx barbershop that was shut down just for him. Is this barber pretending to cut hair during the interview, perhaps to provide background footage and audio aesthetics? This reads, pretty sure they arranged in advance that no one would ask him a tough or substantive question. A friendly photo op with his supporters is the only thing he can handle, even if that means manufacturing the entire environment around him. I'm not surprised Trump has to start staging events in new settings. It probably gets repetitive having to stand there on stage for 30 minutes over and over. It also probably gets repetitive having Elon Musk campaign for you in Pennsylvania. Let's see this charisma powerhouse, Elon Musk, riling up voters.
I can't emphasize enough that Pennsylvania is, I think, the linchpin in this election. And this election, I think, is going to decide the fate of America, and along with the fate of America, the fate of Western civilization.
It will, but not in the way that Elon Musk thinks. I always say that Elon Musk does this thing, and all of MAGA does this thing, where they mirror reality perfectly. They say that Donald Trump is not the threat to democracy, Democrats are. They say Democrats use violent rhetoric. Democrats are the name callers who wants to end Western civilization, when Trump is the one who actually flirts with our enemies. I say this all the time, but Trump will flirt with Vladimir Putin, literally flirt with him. He'll write love letters to Kim Jong-un or Xi Jinping or whoever. He'll say that they are very good friends, but then he will demean Angela Merkel, he will demean Justin Trudeau, he will demean anybody with a little bit of liberalism in them. So I don't know what Elon Musk is talking about. Ron Filipkowski says, imagine thinking the fate of Western civilization depends on a malignant narcissist nepo baby who dodged the draft, cheated on all 3 wives, had nothing to do with raising his kids, had 6 bankruptcies, 4 criminal indictments, 2 impeachments, and 4 hair transplants in bronzer makeup, and that is not even touching the surface. There is so much more wrong with Donald Trump, like his inability to take a loss on anything. Shouldn't that be an instant disqualifier in any presidential election? This dude tried to coup the government. He tried to coup the government, and he decides to continue gaslighting us on Truth Social. See, here's another example of them mirroring reality. He said, just found out that Lion Kamala is doing a video message instead of being at the Al Smith dinner. She shouldn't be allowed to do a video message. Kamala should be there like almost every other presidential candidate in history. Are you kidding me, man? You dropped out of the primary debates, refused to even do them in the first place, dropped out of debates with Kamala Harris. You dropped out of the 60 Minutes interview, which has been the precedent forever. You just dropped out of an NRA speech. I mean, you were the one that is breaking every single precedent in the book. His trolling is quickly losing its potency, losing its effect. Someone replied, share if you will be voting to put this beautiful first family back in the White House. Is this what goes on Truth Social? Some weird cult stuff. These are memes that Jim Jones followers would make if social media existed back then. But I just want to go back to this main article because there's going to be a lot of discourse about it. If you guys open social media like Facebook or Twitter or TikTok, people are talking about this Boston Globe article. It then reads, Trump and his campaign seem to be aware of his addled presence. Quote, friends of mine that are like English professors, they say it's the most brilliant thing they've ever seen, Trump said. Newsflash, that's a lie too. I'm not a doctor, but in a report for Stat, several cognitive experts said they have studied Trump's speaking patterns over the course of several years, and they say his disjointed way of jumping from one subject to another, called tangentiality, has increasing reliance on superlatives and absolute terms are consistent with several causes of cognitive decline. Now, I've been saying that exact same thing in a little bit different words. What I've been saying is that if you notice, Donald Trump has always been repetitive, yes, yes. Always used vacuous, salesman-like rhetoric, yes. But if you watch videos of him from 2016 compared to 2024, he does rely a lot more on saying, like you've never seen before. It's different now. Though cautioning that they could not diagnose Trump without examining him, experts said his speech patterns matched those of people experiencing the effects of things like mood changes, aging, or dementia. And that is the main highlight. We should never actually diagnose Trump and be an armchair expert, because people did that with President Biden, and I relentlessly argued with people saying, you don't even live in the same state as President Biden. You've never seen President Biden in person, especially not over the past year. How are you going to say that President Biden has dementia? What is your qualification? That is what I would tell people. So now it's hypocritical for us. I don't have any qualification. I can't diagnose Trump with dementia, but all I can say is that if he won't release his cognitive exam, we can only go based off videos, and the videos are pretty damning. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, if you appreciate what I do, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.